going to talk about entrepreneurship, courage, pitches, how we tried to merge all these into one overriding program at SC Ventures. Um, Apologies in advance again. I'm going to be bragging a little bit, so bear with me. So to offset any boredom or hubris or ennui or anything else that you're feeling, I've curated some images to go along with my talk. Now, I'm cheating, so I can't see my screen anymore because I'm looking at my notes. So I'm going to ask Angie if anybody has a question or anything goes wrong, just to start yelling in my ear, and I will stop talking. Um, with that, I think I'll get going. So we'll start with one of my favorite things to talk about, me. So who am I? My name's Jason Wiggin. I run the entrepreneurship program here at SC Ventures. SC Ventures is about 6 years old. The entrepreneurship program actually predates SC Ventures, and it's been through a lot of iterations during that time, which is a good thing. In the last 18 months or so, we've revamped it a little bit more. So in this talk, I'll talk to you a little bit about what we've done, but understanding that courage is at the core of what we're looking at in the next couple of days. I'm going to try to tie that back into courage. So I'm not terribly qualified to be talking to you. I've spent 25 years working in gigantic corporates, even worse in financial services. I'm a Caucasian guy from the States. The only thing going for me in this talk right now, so far in my biography, is I'm a gamer, I'm a nerd, and I'm really interested in new things in technology. For the last 18 months, however, I've been focused on the entrepreneurship program at SC Ventures. Um, so that's why you shouldn't listen to me. Why I think maybe you should listen to me. Um, I pivoted out of corporates, like I said, 18 months ago. I've had the privilege in my last couple of corporate lives to work with some of the smartest and most influential people across technology, across innovation, and I've learned a ton about what motivates them. And I'm trying to emulate them as much as I can. I've also learned, being an insider within corporates, how difficult it is to actually drive change, to make things happen. Um, and I've learned why that's hard sometimes, ranging from bureaucracy to politics, to territory, to cultures of fear, and other things that we'll probably touch on a little bit later as we talk. I've had the curse of being forced to create recruitment functions from scratch over and over. So I've actually had to build and drive change within corporates. And then most recently, in the last 18 months, it's been my role to try to revamp and reiterate our entrepreneurship program, which I'm hopeful you'll think is successful. And like I said, I'm going to be bragging about it anyway, so I think it's successful. So what's so great about Standard Chartered Ventures entrepreneurship program? I think I think core to that is every entrepreneurship team, every person or team that has an idea gets a coach. We manage a standard process for each team. So that way every team has a step-by-step usual approach. So we're not surprised by things. And what's important about that is it allows us to change our process. So without a process, which is maybe where we started 5 or 6 years ago, when someone said change things, there's nothing to change because there's no process. It's like pushing on Jello. Now we've got standards that we've gone through. We've learned hard lessons about prototyping and creating minimum viable products within our labs to give back to Standard Chartered Bank, because frankly, Standard Chartered Bank doesn't want to see the products that we create. They want to create the products on their own. The IP and the ideas are where the real value is. So we've stepped away from that. Um, we don't have losers. Every entrepreneur that comes through, we celebrate. We don't have Dragon's Den, which I know a lot of entrepreneurship programs have Dragon's Den or Shark Tanks. We don't put 5 entrepreneurs in a room and expect one to come out proud and the other 4 to come out crying. As a matter of fact, I'll be bragging about this later. A lot of bragging today. I apologize. This year, every entrepreneur that's pitched to a panel, their idea has been adopted by the panel. So we're at 100% hit rate. That's in comparison to prior years, where we're looking at one winner per panel or Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, which is a 20% hit rate. So we're really trying to drive a shift in culture, specifically around being courageous to point out when things are broken and to bring your ideas forward, knowing that if you can get to the pitch, you've got a really good chance of recognition and adoption. So what does this really mean? I mean, why would an entrepreneur join our program? Um, One, training. We teach them human-centered design and storyboarding and pitching. We've built a Frankenstein approach of the best of different types of innovation techniques of what we think is the best, and we drive the entrepreneurs through that, um, so they get hopefully a lot of learning out of it. Exposure. This is my favorite picture. Hopefully everyone's laughing. I can't tell. The entrepreneurs that come through, we really try to target more junior people across our organization. We have 80,000 employees. So these are typically not senior people. And the panels that we put together, because the bank is trying to embrace innovation, tend to be very senior people. So our entrepreneurs will be pitching to panels of people who are one down, sometimes two down from the group CEO. So they'll be remembered, and it's an opportunity for them to actually step up. CEO, a lot, not a lot, 10% of our entrepreneurs that come through our program are actually coming through with ideas that aren't for the bank. They're ideas that can be standalone companies. And if they can get through the Standard Chartered Venture panel with a pitch presentation that we help them create and all of the learning that we drive through with them, then they can start their own company funded by Standard Chartered Ventures. And when they start their own company, they stop being a business analyst or whatever it is they are and become CEO and founder, which is pretty cool. And then last but not least is simplicity. When we challenge a business or a function to solve a problem, most of the ideas that we get back are people working all day long on processes that might be, I have to be careful because I work here, that might be imperfect. I can't say broken. So imperfect processes and imperfect technologies. And these imperfect processes and technologies impact these employees' day-to-day life. An example might be somebody who has to put invoices against our payment or checks against our invoice system. Might need to do that 4 or 5 times a day manually. And each time they do that, it takes half an hour. When it would be so simple to create an algorithm that can recognize an invoice and put it against payments, and boom, that person has just freed up a ton of time, and this really boring, risky task is taken off of their plate. So the entrepreneurs come forward with ideas to fix broken processes. And at the end of it, if it's adopted, their life gets better because they're not working within that broken process anymore. What's in it for businesses? Why do our clients like this? Well, their employees are happier because of everything that I just said. Simplicity, exposure, learning. Um, some of them, actually, the businesses are less happy when they quit to become CEOs, but we celebrate that success anyway. They get more engagement from their population, especially this year. We've seen a couple of our clients have come back and said that they've seen a shift in the behavior of some of their groups towards courage, towards driving change, towards looking for innovation. Um, and then a side effect, which is really very interesting, is the program has become a litmus test for some of our middle and junior leaders across the firm. And typically, I said I was going to be bragging the whole time. Maybe I'm not bragging here. We ran a challenge, and at the outcome of that challenge, a team was adopted to move forward, and the business is going to engage in them. And the leader was very territorial and took all kinds of liberties as far as saying what went wrong and what was right and the rest of it. And it was really good for us, and it was good for the client, because then I can identify the leader was disconnected from the goal of innovation and the goal of collaboration across Standard Chartered Bank, and they could bring him back in to make sure that they could get aligned. In this case, in a positive way. So it worked. We didn't like fire him or anything. So that was good. So wrapping it up, I mean, why am I telling you this? A few things. One, because when I look around entrepreneurship programs at some of our competitors and non-competitors in the last several years, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurship programs disappear. Ours is working, which is really good. Um, an example of how I know it's working is we've taken our show on the road. So entrepreneurships as a service is live, and we currently have 2 live external clients that are working with us to drive our program through their population. And one more literally emailed me today, and I didn't even reach out to them. So really excited. Um, it's working, and it can work. I'm not selling this to you, but it can work for you too. Um, if you do want to do more, maybe I'm selling a little bit, you can always call me. So that's a background on me and the program and where we are. Let's talk about the pitch. We really only care at SC Ventures in the entrepreneurship program about our pitch. The pitch is the entrepreneur's apex. It's their acme on their journey. It showcases their idea. It showcases the entrepreneurs themselves, and frankly, it ends their journey. It allows them to tell the story of their idea, which has been refined and refined and refined and finalized, inclusive of the problem it solves and how it's going to solve that problem. It allows the entrepreneur to present all the personas and stakeholders who are part of this ecosystem um, of the problem that they're solving. Um, it includes basic validation of the idea, and finally, it includes the ask. So whether it's money or just adopt the idea, or they want to partner or JV, or they want to be a leader, or just recognition, whatever, within their pitch, they have an ask. But the real reason why we care about the pitch is it's the culmination of our process. At the end of our process, the pitch happens and there's a measurable outcome. And that outcome is yes, the client's going to take it, or no, the client's not going to take it. And at that point, we can say this journey is complete. Thank you. So, why do we only care about the pitch? To reiterate, it's a logical end of the journey. It's measurable. It's easy to hand off to our clients to run with. Um, and then all entrepreneurship programs are great, but many of the entrepreneurship programs that I've seen seem to struggle with a very ambiguous end, meaning their clients say, "Oh, well, put it back in the lab and prototype it," or "We want to see a proof of concept," or further validation without clarification on what that validation is. And what we've seen is that many of our entrepreneurs, when they're told by the clients to come back and do all of that, they disappear. So I bragged enough about the entrepreneurship program. I apologize. Thank you for putting up with me. I really appreciate it. Um, let's talk a little bit more about courage. So, what makes an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur? What are the things that we think are required for a successful intro or entrepreneur? One, they have to be smart. You must be bright enough to have a solution that solves the problem. You have to be proactive. So you've taken your smart idea and brought it forward. And that proactivity requires some bravery, some courage. You have to be hardworking. So you need to be able to refine and validate, clarify, create your pitch, all of this while you're still doing your day job, because we require our entrepreneurs to continue in their day job. And then, most importantly, to make all of this work, you have to be brave, especially when you look at what's happened to corporate cultures during COVID in the last 2 years. A lot of corporates, a lot of non-corporates have moved towards a culture of fear. So to take your idea and pitch it to senior leaders where they could potentially hate it, they might be threatened by it, they might think it's incorrect, stupid, is brave. And the point of our entrepreneurship program is to drive a culture of bravery in spite of the broad cultures of fear that might be in other organizations or maybe even our own, but I could never say that publicly. When you put all of this together, if you're not courageous, you're probably not going to be an entrepreneur. Now, there's some pitfalls as well. Um, One of the biggest pitfalls that we've seen is most entrepreneurs, when they come forward, don't know what their journey is going to be when they put their idea in the hat and say, "I want to fix this." Um, Even if they think they know it, they really don't know it. It's hard work. So, what I want to do is walk you through the journey of courage and try to explain what our role as entrepreneur leads, coaches, whatever you might call it, um, is as the entrepreneurs go through their journey. So, we've mapped out moments of truth for our entrepreneurs. And the first step on the journey is our welcome conversation, where we say welcome to the entrepreneurship program at Standard Chartered Ventures. We have it's not quite a script, but it's almost a script. We have guidelines on what that script is. We explain the journey. We talk about boot camp and having a dedicated coach and pitch creation and the actual pitch. We explain roles, personas, what the entrepreneur is expected to do, what their team needs to look like, who their coach is, what I do. Normally, I just kind of float around and look busy. Um, what their boss's role, what their leader's role might be in this. And then we address their concerns. If we don't proactively address their concerns, then we don't know how to bolster them to make sure that they have the grit, the courage to move forward. And then these often end with a pep talk. And this is going to be a little bit of a pattern in the next few things I'm going to say. We need to understand. We need them to understand that the task before them is daunting, but they're not alone. Um, and we will be there to support them, and we will be there to make sure that they have everything that they need to succeed. In spite of all that, a good number of our entrepreneurs don't make it, but a good number do. Um, so next step on their journey is boot camp. In boot camp, it sounds easy, right? So our boot camp is half days for 3 days, and it's like I said, it's an amalgamation of HCD and Luma and various design thinking and practices that we've put together that we think work. With the outcome being a pitch, but we ask the entrepreneurs to share their idea in a group. We ask them to give and take feedback from strangers in this group that are now. We ask them to refine their idea in real time with this feedback. We force them to step out of their comfort zone so that they can look at things like user journeys and personas and storyboarding, remembering that these aren't HCD practitioners. These are maybe business analysts or maybe salespeople. So they don't know this. And we ask them to do it among other people. So for us, it's about the coaches having to be there to bolster, to identify where the entrepreneurs need help, and to make sure that we can, frankly, artificially give them the courage required to get through their program. I have to go to my next page, bear with me. Next step is the grunt work. So boot camp ends and they have a coach assigned to them. And we ask them to research and validate and build out their pitch over a period of time. And that research typically includes calling people or emailing people and saying, hey, is my idea any good? Is it going to work? What do you think? And that takes bravery. And they have to validate their idea. Maybe they have to put together a wireframe for their pitch so people can see what their app looks like. And in doing that, that's out of their comfort zone. And the work itself is going to take them off their day job a little bit. And it's the role of the coach, guess where I'm going here, to give them the pep talk and to give them the support they need so we can, again, artificially bolster their courage if required. And then the scary bit comes, right? So pitches, guess what? This is where the journey ends. They've done all this hard work, but the pitch is really scary for a lot of our entrepreneurs. They're dealing with very, very, very senior people. So we don't just bolster with pep talks. I'm going to surprise you here. We actually bolster by also going to the panel and spending a good amount of time with the panel, explaining to them what their role is, not to be dragons or sharks, not to ask crazy questions and not to sink ideas because they think they're smarter, but instead to keep an open mind, see if their idea can actually help the business or the function, and if that idea could, adopt it. If that idea might not work, be positive. These are folks from their worlds typically that have taken immense risk to be here. And we need more of that. And the business leaders, at least so far, touch wood, at Standard Chartered, and now two clients, have embraced that. And we're seeing we're seeing some real positives there. So at the end of the pitch, the client either adopts the idea for creation or not. But either way, we make sure accolades and congratulations go to the entrepreneur. And then knowing that somehow, certainly not a Standard Chartered Bank, but some organizations might have politics and such. We make sure accolades also go to the panel and the business leaders for innovating, so that they can also get a little bit of the glory for adopting the entrepreneurship program. So what's this all? What? Sorry, I misread. What's this about courage? It's all about artificially and naturally driving courage through the entrepreneurs so that next time that artificial courage is their own, or they know where to access it. Why do we talk about the courage to pitch? Angie's going to talk a lot more about that. But we talk about the courage to pitch because from what we've seen, it is the most stressful, toughest bit for entrepreneurs. Most individuals see the idea of trying to fix something or improve something within their organization is very risky. This may anger their bosses, their colleagues. There could be territorial issues. Not all leaders are filled with altruistic innovation vibes. I already talked about one. If the fix doesn't work, maybe they think that they'll get in trouble. But ultimately, it comes down to their career. If the entrepreneur thinks that they're risking their job, their credibility, or their career to drive the idea forward, then they won't. So it's not just up to us. It's the companies are responsible for their own culture, but we try to drive a culture of bravery so that people are empowered to put their ideas forward. So it's core to the entrepreneurs program to make sure that employees have a safe place to take some of these risks and to learn and to try new things. So Angie is going to have a cool exercise, but prior to that, I'm done with my speech. Thank you for putting up with it. Now it's time to hear from Anwar Nawaz, who has taken the entrepreneur journey to considerable heights. And our very own Angie, who you just met, is going to be chatting with him about his experience and lessons. Before I hand back to Angie, I'm going to go back to the screen. Hey, I can see myself. Cool. Are there any questions, comments, feelings, issues, anything that people want to say before I hand over to Angie? Angie, over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Jason. Good kind of walk down the memory lane. That's what we do every day, to make sure everything, there's support needed for the entrepreneur, and actually entrepreneur do their own thing. They do most of the work. We're just at the back. Hey, what do you need? All right. I take a look very quickly on the Global Entrepreneur Week website. People say the art of the pitch is idea and people. Good, spot on. And here I bring you people and an idea, or maybe a person. And what is the entrepreneur we bring to you live to share his idea and something about himself? I would say very quickly, and what Newers to me is a dreamer. And it's also something he said. I just want to have a check-in to make sure everybody is not asleep, because we're doing some kind of lecture, kind of introduction. Who think you are an entrepreneur or is a dreamer? Just quickly type yes in the chat. I just want to make sure you're with us. Thanks, Lee. You're with us. Yes, yes, yes. We have a lot of dreamer and entrepreneur here. Wow, wow, overwhelming. Cool, great. And maybe, and what? Let's start with you. Can you tell us something about yourself? Introduce yourself before we talk about your idea. We want to get to know more about you. Can't hear you. You may want to unmute. Let me check. Are you muted?
Hello, morning.
Hello, morning. I think that's Bello. Is that Bello or is that Anwar?
That's Bello.
Hi, Bello. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm finding difficult. Yeah, how are you doing?
Sure. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, Bello, for dialing in. And I see you're the first person to key in art of the pitch is the structure of the pitch. But right now, I kind of want to see if we can hear from Anwar. We may have some challenge with the audio. I think maybe Bello, you consider yourself an entrepreneur as well. While we are waiting for Anwar to be audible, why don't we start with you, Bello? Since you say hi and unmute yourself, I think that's a courage of its own. Bello, you're saying something, but you're on mute.
Yeah, Bella, I'm trying to reactivate your audio. You just have to accept it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. So thank you very much for this conversation. I've been trying to differentiate between entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. And most classes I have with one of my prof, so still trying to differentiate between the intra in the statement. As for instance,
that's okay.
For instance,
I think that makes you an entrepreneur.
No, I'm trying to differentiate between the two. You see, you know, to us here in Africa, entrepreneurship seems to be something that is still new. And it takes a lot to be able to convince people that this is how it works. For instance, I am a social entrepreneur. So as a social entrepreneur, I see myself as an entrepreneur because I believe in innovation, and I do a lot of design thinking, and I do a lot of work that has to do with courage. So, and this gap comes between, is it compulsory that an entrepreneur will have to work in a company? That's the first question I want to analyze, because setting as a founder, calling myself as an entrepreneur seems not to be correct. Because being a founder of an organization, it seems you are not working inside a particular, I think it falls short of that. So as at yesterday, when we had a gathering, a meeting yesterday night on this topic, we come up with the fact that, okay, as a founder, you definitely work in this institution, the organization, as an executive director, founder, or whatever. Since you work in this organization, that gives you the privilege to be identified as, yeah.
Cool. Because thanks, Bello, for bringing this up. I think that's interesting to really start what's the definition of entrepreneurship as a whole. And in the context of XC Ventures, we say entrepreneurs, it's someone from within the bank, the corporate, that has the entrepreneurial spirit. So that's our definition of it. And I hear that Edward is back. Thanks, Bello, for sharing and for bringing this up. Park that, we'll get to that.
Okay.
And Edward, are you audible now? Let's do a test. Ta-da. Do we have Edward back? You know, this always happens. Just keep calm and get going. We did the test just now. Edward is looking good, sounding good. But now let's see. Edward, would you want to try dialing in from maybe your phone? Yeah, dial in with your phone. Let's see. And let me give a quick introduction, or may I invite Wayne, who is Edward's innovation coach. I put people on the spot, but that's okay. It's the team member, and we are always ready. Let me see if Wayne is around. Hi, Angie. Hey, Wayne. So everybody, this is another innovation coach from the team. She is based in Singapore, and I see she is an entrepreneur of her own. Every one of us has our own entrepreneur story. She will tell you about it if you connect with her later. So I say we kind of shift views, we get to learn new things. That's quite entrepreneurial. And she's been working with Edward on his idea. Maybe Wayne, why don't you give a quick introduction of Edward to the people here, and maybe you can also tell us about his idea.
Yeah, so Anwar, like Angie has pointed out, right? Anwar is a dreamer in a sense that he has really big ideas, but at the same time, I feel it's very applicable to what the future holds for us. So Anwar's idea, I'm not sure if you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of metaverse, right? You guys might be already be on metaverse. Anyone already on the metaverse have tried out? Type in the chat. I'm curious to know. I'm very sure Anwar's idea will be very applicable to you. So, oh, Sandbox user here. Thanks, Gajendra. Yeah, so is it a safe environment today, right, in the metaverse? So Anwar's idea tackled this very critical and fundamental issue. Imagine he always tell me, I don't have kids, but I'm sure I can relate to it. Is that imagine your kids today, they are all into gaming, they are onto metaverse. Would you want them to be exposed to, for example, any danger, even in terms of next time their account being hacked, or they are talking to strangers, or at the same time, when we have actually sensory, more than ocular but sensory avatar to be even groped. I mean, do we want to have this kind of environment for our children? So Anwar's idea is actually really brilliant, is to actually bring about regulations into metaverse. And what's really applicable is that not only for children and gaming, right, that can also be scalable in a sense to doing business, doing trade, doing financial services. When we exchange personal data on the metaverse, we need it to be safe when we exchange um, transactions as well. So all this aspect to be regulated as well. So that is our idea in a gist. I don't want to talk more about it because I don't want to take up what our the essence that he has. He has been on this journey with me and Julia for the past 1-2 months. I have seen how the pitch has shaped. He is ready, and maybe Angie, you want to check if Anwar's ready to go?
Not really. I don't see and what, but I have a story to share. So I kind of spoke to Anwar during the preparation of of today's event. He told me a story that I can relate to. Like he has his eye closed and told me about a story. So story is another keyword from the word cloud. This is the part of the art of the pitch. And the story goes like kind of inspired by his kids, like Wayne has said. Why? Because their world is within Roblox, Minecraft, and to his surprise, the kids actually ask for kind of gifts like blocks, money that they want to spend virtually, or money that they want to spend on the metaverse. And one personal story, when I hear that story, I can relate to that because I brought my nephew to a shop.
You hear me?
I want to yes, finally. And what we were, so Wayne has kindly helped introduce you to the audience here. So assuming we all know you, and we got started with explaining what your idea is about, kind of like a regulated metaverse.
A tiny bit, Anwar. Yeah, a tiny bit. I can't take away his essence.
Yeah, no one is going to steal your thunder. We're just stalling. Like we're hoping that you can get back and we can hear you. So I'm gonna wrap up like this is like a regulated metaverse and it's inspired by your kid. And I can relate to your story because I brought my little nephew to a electronic shop. I hope to buy him a computer. And my little nephew liked something else, like the monitor, like the mouse, like the keyboard, but not the computer. And the salesman told me that's one trick I can teach you that he will fall in love with that laptop is to download Roblox as the game. And all of a sudden, he said, I want that. I said, oh, okay, that's where the magic happened. And he asked, can you give me some blocks or I don't know, I forgot about the term. It's like money on Roblox, like that he can use it to buy stuff. So story, idea, and people. This is part of the art of the pitch we see from the word cloud. And now over to you, and what no one's going to steal your thunder. If you can give us a quick intro of your idea and what motivates you to become an entrepreneur, that would be great.
Thanks. I often say that I wish my coaches did my pitch, and because they're so articulate and they can say what's in my mind better than what I can. So thank you, Ring, because I'm sure you said it better than me. So my pitch, you're right. I think there's two factors that inspired me in what I'm trying to do. So it's basically to create a compliant and safe, regulated metaverse. Yeah. And what kind of triggered me was one, when SCB decided to get a plot of land on Sandbox, and I thought that's great. But again, when I saw my kid playing, and I asked him, what do you want for your birthday? Let's go to the shop, let's buy some Lego or something, right? And he said, I want some V-Bucks. I said, what's that? So then he explained that, you know, you can buy stuff on the computer and they change their clothes and skins, and that's what he wants as he plays on Fortnite or Roblox. And I said, okay, fine. But then that's me thinking my mind has gone to waste. And then when I look at him play, I see there's writing on the screen and he's speaking to people. I said, no, you're not allowed to speak to anybody. And then I thought, what kind of controls are there as a parent? You know, you guys would have nephews, nieces, children, you know, you've got kids around you get worried. And then I was looking into it and I was thinking, this is not a safe place. It really isn't. What kind of safeguards are there? Apart from the parents saying you got to do the protections yourself. So then I thought, I looked into it and it was really a scary place. And I thought, no, something's got to be done. And so when I saw SCB saying metaverse, I thought, hold on, that's a great idea. And then I spoke to someone else, a couple of folks to grab what their thoughts are. So I'm the dreamer. So I spoke to a couple of guys. Behind every dream, you need a brain, right? So I spoke to a couple of guys that got the brains in this area. And we kind of had brainstorming and thought, yeah, that's one thing this place is missing is something in its entirety. And what you got to do is really create and build a whole ecosystem, but that's too much of a vision. That's 3 or 4 years down the line. No bank will ever do that. I said, well, we never know. And that's that vision of creating an entire ecosystem to create a control framework around the metaverse, the tokenization, the interoperability, and how you create a rule book around it from scratch, not in its silos, which is happening across different banks in the industry, but as one whole ecosystem so that you can control it end to end. That doesn't exist. And they said no one will ever do it. No bank will ever do it. It's too big. They haven't got the knowledge, and people in the DeFi space won't go in. So I thought, let's try. And that's how my pitch came. It really came from my care and concern for my kid. But then, just to add one more bit, is I thought, hold on. Everyone says this about gamers. So I was looking at the viability as I was thinking. But then I was thinking, my kid's going to get out of Fortnite. And he's going to, that social interaction will increase. Yeah, so you've got to think about this generation as they grow older. That social interaction will increase. So instead of buying skins, they'll buy clothes like Nike and Prada and trainers. And you can see those firms are going onto the metaverse too. So then you think, but they're not operating in a safe place. They're still in the metaverse, but not necessarily in the safe place with my concerns. So that's business and commerce. And then as they get older, they may study. Studies may go more virtual, more in the metaverse space. Universities will set themselves up. Then you realize throughout my whole kid's life cycle, he spent most of his life on the metaverse. So when he graduates, God willing, he graduates, where's he going to do? Start walking out the house and going to job interviews in a building? Is that what's going to be front of mind? I don't think so. It's going to be front of mind. It's going to be, I've lived my whole half of my life there. I'm going to look at what opportunities are there. So then you have engineers, architects, scientists, the whole metaverse builds up. And that is kind of what inspired me to push this idea forward. Is I actually feel that this may be not necessarily for our generation, but for the generation that's coming. And this is why I'm looking at creating some kind of ecosystem infrastructure to allow all of that build and growth to come into place. So that's kind of the inspiration in a nutshell as to what the metaverse really is in my pitch.
But yeah, and what it's good to be imaginative, right? Sometimes you doesn't need to know everything about something you see potential in. It's that passion, that greed to find out, and especially powerful when it's coming from a personal experience. Like the motivation is from kind of like how my kid's gonna do, and into future, it's all about that metaverse. Like a lot of different commerce or opportunities are on there. So how is the journey so far? Like, how is people taking this novel idea? What are some of the ups and downs in kind of making this happen?
So the truth is, when I had this idea and I spoke to a lot of people around me, people thought that, Anwar, no. 1 year ago, people were saying, Anwar, a regulated metaverse, and these are specialists around me, around this area, were saying no, because this is wholly decentralized finance. If you look at the conversation a year on and sit in panels, they're talking about we need some kind of regulation, yeah, or we need a regulated metaverse. So that's the initial conversation. Now, I'm from a compliance background, right? So I kind of, and I've been a practitioner, I mean, working in the field, speaking to regulators in the past and helping to influence regs. So I kind of understand the regulatory aspect. But we can't sit and wait for regulation. We need to be involved, be the first ones out there, because we need to influence regulation and shape it so it's good for the end consumers. This is my point. A lot of people will say no, 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 but thankfully, I don't know why, but Jason picked this out and said, actually, we're going to drive it through. And I know he's not on the call, but going back to what he said, he really does pick some crazy ideas which he thinks there's hope. And then he chats to you, and you're right, you build that guts and help build our confidence to be able to take it further. So one, people didn't believe me, but I still kind of had it in my heart, and people in SC Ventures kind of reinforce what you think. Two, when we go through the boot camp, it is great, but we're all human. Sometimes we're not good at certain things. And one thing that I found that I wasn't really good at was articulating my storyboard, which was trained, my coaches are fantastic, in a way post the boot camp. But the boot camp is such a place where you have other colleagues there. And I have to say, that's the down on my side, where I really couldn't give that much, as much as I could have. But the up is, if you've got people in the boot camp with other ideas, really open up and collaborate with them. Because there's a guy that was, I think he's on the call, I don't know if he is, Gajendra, and he helped create my customer journey slide, even though he's got his own pitch. So one of the beauties are collaboration as well. So that's a couple of examples of downs and ups.
Yeah, great. I can relate to that. Like, first of all, to the naysayers, I always say if everybody say yes to it, everybody would have done it. So it takes a little no to kind of explore what's the opportunity behind. So great things are never easy. And sometimes easy things is hard to be great. So I kind of back that one. And so how did you overcome that? So that's one I can relate to. Like, how do you overcome those naysayers, or how do you make it work? Like, do you prove them wrong? You show them what would be the tip?
The truth is, I nearly gave up. Yeah, I was, I nearly believed them, thinking, it's true, right? But then like I said, Jason, he decided to have a catch up with me, and after listening to what I had to say, he actually said, you know, he actually put me into this entrepreneur scheme. So I was close to giving up, but I have to say, SC Ventures, the support you gave really enabled me to pick up my confidence. And I'm not just saying this, it was a flat line no to nearly everyone I spoke to. Had it not been for that reinforcing of, no, and what, give your idea a shot, go for it, I would have given up. That's the truth.
Cool. You know, I don't know. I say this always for myself, but I think I can speak on behalf of the team as well. I always keep looking for that no nut. Don't take offense to it. It's a positive thing. Like I follow like who has this idea. You know, sometimes leadership is about following the crazy idea, the dreamer. And as Jason has put in the chat, like what criteria we look for in an entrepreneur, does it solve a problem? Probably it could. That's why there's one question from the chat and what from you. And we will go over that in a bit. And besides, does it solve the problem? Is it feasible? Is it viable? Or is it crazy? Okay. And will you get to learn a lot out of the program? So that's all the kind of motivation and drivers behind why Jason think we should give it a shot. Not just Jason, maybe the entire team. So we are a group of coaches or people who's lucky enough to really have that bandwidth, have that luxury to work with people who wants to dream. And they are not just dreamers. I would say they're executors as well. They get things done. That's important. And naturally, since we have a question at least from the chat, let's get to it. And what we have kind of 9 more minutes as planned, but we'll go with the flow. Thanks for kind of all these inputs and joining that conversation. It's from Joanna, I think, from Portugal. Cool, good to see you, Joanna. So that's this question. Besides regulation, it's more on your idea and what? Safety of the metaverse. Does your project also envision incentivizing and luring kids to step outside of the game? It's not just about gaming, and have some kind of well-being defense mechanism for them. Wow, deep. Like meet a friend to win a certain points? Question mark. What do you have for Joanna here and what?
So no, it's a really good question. As I use kids because that's what I relate to, but it's not just kids. If you take that safety and security, so compliance is about principle. It's not about the situation. It's not about regulation, right? For me, as a practitioner, it's about principle. It's about what's in the heart and spirit of what you're doing. So the question is about security. Are you safe and secure, and do you feel confident in the place where you are at? Be it a child, be it someone walking home late in the nighttime in the metaverse, because believe it or not, weird things happen in the metaverse. Yeah. Are you safe? What are your control mechanisms? To your point, the reason why we're creating the entire ecosystem and the pitches for the ecosystem is to put safeguards in place in each and every single process. And the only people allowed to operate in the metaverse are folks that have been vetted, are folks that have permission rights to walk in certain places within the metaverse, to meet certain, there's all these criteria that are met as to what you can and cannot do. But you can only do that if you create the entire ecosystem. I don't want to go into technicalities here, but we've introduced concepts such as passporting, yeah, where you can go into certain realms, certain zones. So where as a parent, you're worried about your child, their passport has limitations and controls. As a financial institution, you also have your limitations and controls, because you may be retail, you may be corporate. So you have to differentiate each and every single person and bucket them with the controls. That's tailor-made. So tailor-made. So what we're doing is we're kind of, I don't want to say the word policing, but we're taking what we have in society today into the virtual world. When the kid goes to school, you expect the school to look after the children and no adults go inside from outside. That is the example that I would give.
Cool. Thanks, and what I can see Joanna on the screen. Does it answer your question?
So
Yeah, I think it clarified a lot the solution. Thank you, Anwar. What you're bringing now, it's clearer for me. But still, my point was more to, will this kind of passport that our kids will have invite them to come to real life again? You know, so this is my concern: is the well-being of our kids, and part it's on our side. I'm also a mother of 3. Part is society in general, and also it's about well-being. And I always come to the example of Facebook, that Facebook is designed to keep people there, and this is awful, and this is really damaging. Now it's not Facebook, it's Instagram. This is really damaging the well-being of our kids, especially young women, young teens, and they know it, we know it. Everyone is not changing the codes, the algorithms, the way that the app is used. So this was more like, as you're in this position of building an ecosystem and being the dreamer, that was a bit my question, and maybe provocation, is that if you can, during this path of entrepreneurship, think about how we can use the metaverse to actually bring people to reality.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. We have to train people and nurture mindsets from that lens. That's separate. This is separate. This is a separate of piece on the metaverse. But I agree. We have to try to make society better for ourselves, right? And that starts with our kids. So 100% everything what you said.
Cool. Great feedback there. And what you can take this away and work with Julia and Wayne and see like how you can kind of incorporate that when it comes to your value proposition in the idea. And here's also a place to connect dreamers. I see Bello put a link there, like that's a project, like also support people to achieve dreams. Feel free to connect with each other, share feedback so we can build on different value proposition. So 3 minutes to the clock. I'm very excited to get started with the activity, but not just yet. So, and what, as like part of a parting thought, what would be the one tip you want to give to the room full of entrepreneurs here? It could be on courage. It could be on kind of pitching your idea, like just one tip that comes to mind that you want to share.
So quickly, I think actually, forgive me, but I think you need 2 things actually on this. I think you need compassion and you need passion. For me, and this is what it is, compassion means you have to feel for it. Yeah. So you can see I can feel for it. It's present to me right now. And that means this is the present and the past. This means a lot to me. Then how do I take that forward? And that is the passion. The passion is taking that feeling and driving it forward. And this is what I'm trying to do here. So I think you need both compassion and passion, because with that compassion, it helps you build that courage when you have that passion. That's all. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Anwar. And it's exactly that passion and compassion that can start the movement. I want to work with you. I want to work for you, to kind of making it real. So I'm a follower looking for a no nut. I think you could be one of the no nuts. So thanks, Anwar, for sharing with us. Any more questions? No, feel free to pop it in the chat or connect directly with Anwar. You can easily find him on LinkedIn. If not, you can easily find us on LinkedIn, where you can connect with the people you want to. All right. So thank you. Great on timing. So thank you, Anwar. Don't be a stranger. Everyone should connect with everyone. So collaboration is another thing. Passion, compassion, collaboration. All right. So I'm sure everyone is still awake. So it is a 2-hour session. I said we're gonna make it worthwhile. So I'm gonna do something like a quick activity. All right. You may feel a little uncomfortable in the beginning. How can I make this work? I don't have enough time. So put all those thoughts away. Don't need to worry about it. No one's gonna judge you now. We just want you to experience. Consider that like this is like a mini boot camp. You know, Jason in the beginning talked about what it looks like what we do. So this is like a primer or a little quick taster of possibility, your potential, okay? So let's go back to the topic for the day, the art of the pitch. What's that? Like, how can we master that? Let's talk about some myths. First one, who knows about JOMO or FOMO? Anyone? Just say yes in the chat. Okay, I see some kind of shaking his head. Okay, so FOMO. This is more a famous one or famous term. Fear of missing out. So joke is saying that, yes, I know. So you see a lot of birds underneath. So no one wants to miss out on anything. Myth of the art of pitching is you want to include everything. Your idea are very big, are very sophisticated. You cannot leave out every single details. You need to include it all. But there's also JOMO. Sometimes there is joy of missing out. What are the key elements? What are the key messages you need to include in the pitch? Maybe that's the secret sauce. So Albert Einstein has a saying, if you can explain it simply, you simply don't understand it well enough. So that's one myth. Include everything or just the key things, all right? We need to learn to let go. So that's the first myth. Second one, the P. What is the P? There's something about perfection that gets to us. It's either perfection or progress. Sometimes we always argue, I don't know, I can't do it. Actually, no one really does know. Maybe they just do. They just get started. Sharing a very personal and recent example. This is my little nephew. We were at the basketball court, and this is what he's doing. You can clearly see, for people who don't know basketball, he doesn't know. He just hold the ball, find it fun, just throw it. And on the screen, no, it's not successful. He has a sad face. He doesn't know basketball. It's just something he can do. Just throwing a ball, how hard is that? So just do it. Keep trying. Eventually, he made it. Look at him, like cannot even dodge a ball, cannot pass it properly. But look what he can do. Oh, there he goes, hit the target. And not everyone in the court or maybe professional player can do it. Like he've done it 3 times in 10 minutes. So it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about trying. So that's the second one I want to mention. Next one, time. Not enough time. No, this one is tricky. Like time, no, who has enough? I'm not a parent myself, but maybe parent could tell you there's never enough time in this world. There's like a parent in this kind of image. Even if you have 36 hours, you know, sometimes you cannot make it. So I'll give you an example. If we move on, can anyone tell me what is this? Type it in the chat. Let me see if you can recognize this. Okay, joke. Thank you. It's Spider-Man. See? This is a 10-minute or actually 12, not minute, 12 seconds version of Spider-Man, all right? So if you have more time, you can kind of give it more kind of sophistication. So moving on to the next one. Yeah, definitely Spider-Man, right? So it's a 1-minute version. And if you have more time, okay, you can kind of beautify it. You know, that makes the 10-minute version. The takeaway from here is as long as you get the key message right, you know, people understand, they will have the interest to know more. You don't need it to be that perfect. And you just need to make use of whatever time you have to make it work. So maybe I think we have time. Let's play this quick video. This is what I meant by 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes version. So there we go. So the moral of this story is whatever time you've got, just try to come up with the minimum viable or necessary message. So that's the third myth. Moving on, this is tough to crack. At times we always question ourselves. Can we do it? Are we enough? Am I good enough to do it? I say yes. And I'm gonna challenge everybody on this call to do something. You ready for a challenge? It's not scary. You're just competing against yourself. It's gonna be fun. So this activity, I see a thumbs up, love it. Yes, from Janet. Janet, of course, very passionate. So I have this activity for you today. I call it the eyewear challenge. So eyewear, your spec, my glasses, your glasses. I want you to design an eyewear, okay? When it comes to design, I see it from the art of the pitch. There are investors, there are people, their idea, their product, it revolves around people. It's also the gist of human-centered design or design thinking, all right? So you need to know who you are designing for. Today, you are designing for Angie. And yes, this Angie is the same with that Angie. It's me. You see me in my kind of wet jacket, that glasses. You see me with my shorter hair, without glasses. You see me on the screen with glasses, without glasses. Yes, that's about me. So you need to know more about Angie. Nice meeting you for the first time, but I'm gonna give you 100% true information today. So this is the thing you know about Angie in order to design a glasses for her. First of all, she has had an eye surgery, so can't wear any contact lens. So you always see me with my glasses on. Rarely did you see me with my glasses off unless it's really, really special occasion. Personality-wise, she's quite introverted. Introverted at heart means super shy. People usually don't recognize her without her glasses. Okay, maybe it's one of the reasons she always keep her glasses on, not sure. Another thing that really annoys her is she looks like forever 21. It means like people always think she is younger than she really is. Perhaps it's a blessing and perhaps it's a curse as well. And she's also very open to trying new and crazy things. She also loves things that are flexible, that can cater for all occasions. Almost like one size fits all. Can do it, can use it at work, or can take it out during sports, like to use it indoor, outdoor, doesn't want to change, okay? I have different kind of Apple Watch strap and band, but somehow I only use one of them. Last but not least, she loves red. as very evident from that wet jacket over there. And something classic as well. Black, white, simple. Okay. So that's what you know about NG. You need to design for NG a pair of glasses. Okay. And that's what you're going to do for the next 10 minutes. Okay. So remember all the different myths that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a glass designer in order to do that. Don't worry about that. Just focus on the task at hand. This is the person you're designing for. And I want you to take the next 10 minutes, think about what types of glasses that Angie would want. You can find a pair of glasses on Google, do Google search, or we can do it the old-fashioned way. Prepare, get handy some pen, paper. Feel like this is a big group here. We have so many digital things nowadays. Let's go back to the basic. Let's do some paper and pen, okay? Later on, Sean will put on that description, so no worries, you can reference it back, but I just want to get everybody in the same page. I will give you some time. Get some paper and pen ready. Don't have coloring pen, that's okay. You can stick with kind of black or blue or whatever color you have. You can always annotate it. Tell me this is wet, okay? Something, all right? You need to have the NG in mind. That's what NG like about it. And you need to think about why when you try to kind of think of a feature, think of that glasses, okay? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? I hope we have your full attention, okay? So for the next 10 minutes, extra focus, okay? Doesn't need to be perfect. Progress trumps perfection, and time, forget about it. Just see what you've got within the 10 minutes. Do that 10-minute version of the Spider-Man, or more like the 10-second version of the Spider-Man, all right? No one actually has enough time, and that's okay. And I say you can do it. Before we begin the 10-minute timer, I just want to say, so whenever you have the design ready, you can send a text to the chat saying, I have a design for NG. Okay, let me type it out. When you are ready, you can say, I have a design for NG. You can type this text to everyone, or you can just send a DM to me. Okay, so I will put the clock on for 10 minutes. All right, so it's time to present. I want a volunteer, to present what you have for me. Like what's the what's the frame you have, the eyewear, and the features. And while you present or share with me, I want you to explain, why do you think it's a fit for me? I got some direct messages, actually exactly what I was hoping for. Like said, I choose this because you like this and that, like certain features that can address the needs of mine. That's great. And any volunteer to begin with. Nah, haven't yet to kind of give the instruction, but I have some mission for everybody listening too. But first of all, volunteer, anyone. So it's about moment for courage. Do we have that courage?
I already
I can
raised my
present.
hand.
Okay. Shachi?
Yeah, oh, that's actually Okachi. Yeah, that's my, Zoom is a personal, that's my personal account, but this is Okachi. Okay.
Okay,
Hi,
cool. Hi. Am I speaking to Sachi right now?
Yes, you are.
Cool. Nice to meet you. Thanks for volunteering. Love to hear from you. I also see Alex is open too. Cool. We got our second volunteer for the next activity. Okay. That's gonna buy us some time. Thanks, Shachi, for being courageous. Love it. You know, remember Jason's kind of official. You need to be brave. You know, I have an image of you like with that long hair.
I'm already
Okay,
laughing
but
at my
people,
drawing, but hey, it is what it
I
is. So
will
do you
be
want me to show you the,
smiling.
do you want me
Yes,
to
yes.
show you the drawing first?
Yes, but before that, there's some instructions for the audience. So for
Okay.
those who are listening, I want your full attention. Okay, while Shachi presenting the glasses for me, I want you to visualize it. I want you to draw the glasses out with annotation. So put your own design aside, focus on what Shachi is presenting. Now listen in a way that you're gonna help Shachi pitch these glasses to me. All right, so get ready, pen and paper, blank piece of paper, just to make sure you can follow kind of Shachi's sharing and presentation. Okay. I know we only maybe have 14 people on the line. That's okay. Just focus, enjoy. Are you ready for people who are on the line listening to Shachi's sharing? I want you to visualize the glasses she has designed for me. Okay, listen in a way that you're gonna help her pitch these glasses to me. Okay, good. All right, so Shachi, if you're ready, over to you. You can kind of share your drawing, like put it in front, I don't know, in the camera, and tell us, just describe what these glasses are and what are the features, why you think it's a good fit for Angie.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I target to take 5 minutes. May not be a hard stop. I just want to set the expectation. Not too short, not too long. Just enjoy it.
Okay. Cool. Let me describe it first, since people will be drawing it, and then I can show it at the end, right? I think that way. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Okachi. So for Angie, I looked at her face. Her face seemed a bit more oval than, don't mind, this is my interpretation, oval.
Not at all. Not at all. Go for it.
So I felt she will need something that doesn't cover her entire face, you know, something a bit similar to what she's wearing, but a bit more structured, you know, because first of all, she's willing to try new things. So I thought about a design that will work and also accommodate the fact that she wants to try new things, but she's also shy. So I've done my glasses is in 2 parts. So the color, the frame, it has a bit of a flake on the top. So the frame is like a Wayfarer glasses with projecting a bit out of the face. And it's a black, the lens part is a black frame. And then I have done a red, since she likes the color red, I've done the hand of the glasses to be red. Now, I feel that coming out, you know, people can say if you're shy and you want to explore the things, I try to kind of meet her in between by giving her a dark frame in front and then just the glasses is red. So it has that, the bit of adventure in it, but it doesn't take her completely away from her comfort zone. So I felt that would sit much better than just giving her glasses that is totally colored. That might throw her a bit off on the deep end. So that's what I have done. So I feel that this is something that will fit her better because it will make her face, I think it will, you know, accentuate the features on her face, not cover up her brows. I think that wearing the glasses that doesn't cover her brows would make her, you know, it will be nicer, it will be chic, and she'll like it. So I'm going to now show my glasses so you can see. Forget the drawing. Just look at the picture.
Sure, but have you turned on your camera?
Okay, so
Okay, now you have.
let me know if you can see it.
I can see your profile picture. I think that's
Can you
your
see it?
profile picture. Not really. Can anyone see it? Sean, can you
Did you
see
see
it?
that?
No, I can't see it either.
cannot. It's a
Okay,
black screen.
you cannot. Okay.
Oh, now I
It's,
think I can see you with a virtual background.
Yeah, you can see me. Okay, so
Yeah,
let me try
now
the
I can
glasses
see you.
again.
Yeah, if you put the drawings in front of your face, because that's an algorithm.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't blur it out. Yes, like this.
Okay.
Okay, flash
Can
a
you see it?
little. Nope. Negative. That's okay. That's okay.
Negative.
Oh, now I
Okay.
can see you. Try to put it in front of you, just in
You
front
can
of
see me. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, see, that's it. It keeps flashing.
Oh, that's okay. I think I saw a little. Okay, okay. It's like at the hysteric.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
The figure hysteric, like it's kind of okay. I know. Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, then I'm gonna show
All
you.
right.
This is how I drew it.
Yeah.
A little different. So I didn't mention
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
have
So
an oval
that's a good
face, but that's okay. That's good observation. I did include as part of the description earlier on, but I removed it. But good observation.
Are you?
And
Oh,
then
wow. So
try new things. And then I think one thing I didn't get is maybe the angle of the glasses, but that's cool.
yes. So
is the glass wet in color?
so it's black. The frame here is
this
black,
is black, right?
right? And the handle is exactly.
The
and
lens
it's
is wet. I love it.
I'm gonna try again. Tell me if you can see it.
I feel like I'm the elastic girl in The Incredibles, seeing your design.
Yeah.
Just a little different.
So it has that little, it has a little projection like this out. So it's kind of a bit oval, but it's got a bit of projection and then it comes right in and like that. And the lens is only a portion of it. So you can see the black frame is quite thick, right? And then you've got the red there. That's really it. Yeah.
Oh, great. Love it. Thank you, Sachi. Sorry I didn't ask everybody to introduce yourself, but we'll have all the time later on to do that because we can connect. But thank you. Which parts of the world are you from, Shashi? Like I said no, but I want to know. Shashi, which part of the world you're from?
This is Okachi from Nigeria. I just have that. That's my social media name. So Zoom, that's what it shows when I go on Zoom.
Oh, hi, Okachi. Okay,
hello.
Cool. Good to have you. Hello. Yeah, because I didn't recognize that name. But
yes.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. So thanks for that. Thanks for sharing with us. And I hope everybody has done what I've done just now, what I did just now. So listening to what kind of Shachi presented and try to visualize, draw it. Because there's some task for you. We have the next activity, which is sometimes, do you like the design? Like, feel free to pop it in the chat. Do you like the design? I see Wayne like it. Great design, Sachi and Marita. So yeah, we like it, all right? And sometimes even good product, good design can get lost in words, all right? So I have this kind of appealing graphic. If Sean would move to the next slide. Okay, moving on. I have this goldfish out of the tank. It's good fish, but then it died, like couldn't survive. Why? Sometimes like that's David Beckham. That's what we found online. He's a pitch coach. That's a saying that he says, talented people with great ideas, great product, great design that can change lives may never be heard. That's the reason why I'm behind it, because we need to find our voice. Our voice is our pitch. A great pitch is crucial. It's crucial to sell your idea. And in the word cloud, I think selling your idea is one of kind of the key words that comes out of it, because it reflects on your plan, it reflects on your product, reflect on your idea. All right. So what can we do about it? I think, Bello, you mentioned art of the pitch is about structure of the pitch. And that's a framework we can work on, structuring a pitch. Message map is some things we often introduce as one of the ways to help us structure an elevator pitch. It's basically a framework used to create compelling, relevant messages for various audience, okay? It's almost like an organizational alignment to make sure we have that message consistency. Who thinks we can repeat after what Shashi has presented to us in exact words, or even in similar kind of content? That's quite challenging if we don't put a structure around it. Okay, so message map can help. And because how it helps, because it brings in that consistency. All right. It also makes sure there's message quality. You think about it, you structure it in the right way, and you make sure all the key messages will be included. Sean, that's a slide where people can see all the benefits. And it's also you can save time. All right. You don't need to replicate it every time. It's there. I'm going to do a quick kind of advertisement of what SC Ventures does, and it also shows you what it means by kind of framing it with a message map. So we need an overarching home-based message. We want you to remember, when people get lost, like attention span is low. Like, how do you make sure people take away what you say, will be able to repeat after you? It will not be forgettable, that people can actually remember. Unforgettable is another keyword from the word cloud, I remember. So here's what I want you to remember about what SC Ventures does. Home-based message, the one takeaway we want you to have is SC Ventures is a platform and catalyst for Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, that's it. You feel like you understand what it does, but then when people ask more about it, you may get lost. Oh, so what does it mean? All right. But at least you say, like, they are a platform, like they are a catalyst, like they help to get things done faster, maybe. All right. So let's elaborate on it. Like power of 3. Anything more than 3, people tend to forget. Maybe just 1, like people won't find it impressive. So that's the rule of power of 3. Like the brain takes it like optimally. So SC Ventures is a platform and catalyst for Standard Chartered Bank. It helps promote innovation. It invests in disruptive fintechs, and it explores alternative business models. So that's what we do. And it's easier for you to remember, easier for you to pass this message on. This is what SC Ventures does. We joined a session with the entrepreneur and innovation team from SC Ventures. So if you have more time, you can elaborate on each of the points, okay? And also the power of 3, don't need to say too much, just enough that people understand it, find it compelling, find it relatable. I'll say one more example I can give is SC Ventures is a platform and catalyst for Standard Chartered Bank. It promotes innovation. How? It has a structured innovation program. It has a platform available for the ecosystem called FinTech Bridge, and they also work with clients on innovation program. That's it. So should be easy to remember and easy to replicate. So that's just one example. All right. I'm gonna play you a short video, and the video looks very old. Maybe it's like 20 years old. Like Jason will call out on this, but still it works. Like it tells you clearly how you can leverage a message map, what is the structure to it. So pay attention. So that's the tips, how we can build the message map, or how we can leverage message map to build an elevator pitch.
I'm going to show you how to pitch anything in 15 seconds. And we're going to do so with the help of a great tool called a message map. A message map is the visual display of your story on one page. So for this exercise, you're going to need a notepad, a tablet computer, or a good old-fashioned whiteboard. And we're also going to use the example of a real company called Lush. Lush is a global soap store. I believe they're in about 45 countries. They make fantastic handmade fresh soap. Ah, that lemon smells great. I don't have any financial interest in this company, but I know their messaging really, really well. I've talked to the founders before, and in order to create a really good message map, you got to know the story. So let's start with step one, creating what I call a Twitter-friendly headline. The Twitter-friendly headline is the one overarching message that you're trying to communicate to your customer, the one thing you want people to know about your brand or your product. I've already taken the liberty of filling this out. Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. So again, based on my understanding and my understanding of the message, I think that's the one thing they want you to know. Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. If that's all you know, it tells you a lot, and it also fits well within a Twitter post of 140 characters, so keep it short. But now let's fill in the rest of the message map with 3 or at most 4 supporting points. So again, based on what I understand of their messaging so far, I would say fresh is very important to them, and we'll talk about that in a second. Fresh. The other sub-point or supporting point I would make is environmentally, and I'll shorten it, environmentally friendly. And the third point is ethical campaigns. They support a lot of ethical campaigns globally and in their various communities where the locations are held. So Lush makes handmade soaps and cosmetics. There's 3 reinforcing points. They're fresh, they're environmentally friendly, and they support ethical campaigns. Now let's see how this would work out in the real world. I'm going to use a stopwatch for this. Let's assume, hypothetically, a customer walks into a Lush store. A sales associate might say something like this. Hi, welcome to Lush. We make handmade soaps and cosmetics. Everything you see in the store is fresh, it's environmentally friendly, and part of the proceeds go to support ethical campaigns in our community. Take a look around, enjoy yourself. 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, I gave you the broad story. If that's all you know about Lush, this actually tells you quite a bit. But now let's go one step further. Let's extend the conversation somewhat, maybe to a 30-second pitch. You're going to have to support these points for a longer conversation. So under fresh, you might add just a couple of bullet points like manufactured daily, shipped the next day. Under environmentally friendly, you can put something like unpackaged so that the plastic doesn't end up in landfills. Or you might put ingredients not tested on animals. These sub-points, the supporting points for each of your 3 key messages, need to be very specific. They need to be examples, data, statistics, or even stories. And under ethical campaigns, you might add 1 or 2 of the campaigns that the Lush brand supports, either globally or locally in communities. So there you go. This is a message map. It is one of the most powerful tools in communication. It works each and every time, even for very complex products or concepts. I know because I've worked with leaders who have incredibly complex products to talk about or to sell. In fact, the more complex your product, the more you need the message map. Because you, as a leader, you need to communicate the benefits of your product in a way that is simple, clear, and concise. The message map is your winning ticket.
Okay, so that's the message map. Who can guess what's next? Next activity, also the last activity, is to build the pitch. Okay, so you will have the next 10 minutes. All the myths still stay true. Forget about time. Forget about you cannot do it. Kind of say try to do it. I would say you can make it. So based on what has been described, build that pitch. You have two options. Option one, use Shachi's design. Okay, you can build a pitch based on her design, or you can go back to your own design and come up with that pitch. I would say aiming for 15 seconds could be challenging. Anything within 1 minute would do. So 10 minutes to build your pitch to Angie of that glasses you think that suits her, that she would buy. Okay. I can give you a quick example from the work that Sean did for me. So that's the glasses he has designed for me while we do the drawing one. So since I like new and crazy things and I do spots, so I need that extra thick bridge here to ensure that I'm safe while playing sports. And that novel things that I'm willing to try, he designed a hexagon frame for me. Okay. And then he said like I want to look more mature. Maybe he add that vintage strap. Like, you know, if I don't want to look at it, I can just hang it over my neck. So he thinks that's one way to make me look older. All right. And my pitch would be kind of as a transformer glasses. It's highly functional. It has transition glass or transition lens. It has eye drop dispenser, very high tech. It's also very wild design. It's hexagon frame, transparent frame with wet lining. That this is, I like classic, I like wet. And it's also one of a kind. Special materials between plastic and metal, extra thick bridge, and vintage strap. So I think that would be my 30-second pitch. We've done it in like half an hour, me and him. And now I hope I give you enough confidence to build your pitch. I look forward to that pitch in 10 minutes time. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Is it tough? I don't get as many I am ready in the chat. That's okay. Like it could be quite tough. I can do my version first. And I know, Alex, you volunteer for the kind of first round. I will move to you next. Okay. All right. So we have 5 minutes left. Very quickly, 30-second version for me from Shachi's design. I would say, Angie, this is your everyday glasses. It comes with all the colors you like subtly in one. It has black top frame, wet transparent lens, and it makes you look young and it makes you look older, more mature. Why? Because turn your oval face to thin face and the frame will cover your entire face or half your face. Okay, that makes you more mature. So that's my 30 seconds. Not the power of 3, but I'm okay with that due to the limited time. So that's my version. I'm gonna go to Alex. Thanks for being the second brave souls to volunteer. Okay, so we are quite tight on time. So I count on you to do a quick version of the pitch. Alex, are you ready?
You can hear me okay?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. Tell me when to go.
Go now.
Okay. So the glasses I designed are a metaphor for all that is to be celebrated in Angie's life. The brand I created is called My Eye 21 Glasses, said My 21. Embedded in the design are 3 key messages Angie will always remember. 1, made of 21 separate parts, each one representing 1 year in Angie's life. 2, glasses open to allow interchangeable lens, symbolizing Angie's desire to be open to new ideas. And finally, 3, octagon shaped, symbolizing a mixed martial arts competitor ring to remind Angie to be more crazy to do new things.
Great job! You've got it. I think probably I will buy yours, you know, Alex, not mine. Great demonstration. I would say, Angie, what do you say? I say, yes, I do. Buy, bought, sold already. So some takeaways I want everybody to take away with on the art of the pitch. First of all, less is more. Look at how much time we've got to design. Look at how much time we've got to build the pitch. Alex has demonstrated it very, very well. Less is more. And one thing I like about it, always go back to why Angie wants it. It's more compelling than just saying what is the product, which that's what I did just now. And that's make a difference because it tells you the what and it brings it back to why. And it's not a lot of words either. So less is more. What else? Is let's say, I don't know, I can do it, I can't, I don't design. And it's always the W word. Let's wait. What? No, let's make it work. So that's the other takeaway we want you to back with. And time, all this is just perspective, okay? So start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. It's literally the art of the pitch or anything else in life. Just get started so you know what to do next. Last but not least, or maybe this is the second last, a great pitch is actually a great story. You know, going back to Anwar, like telling you why he came up with that idea and how he discovered more. Make it more personal. Doesn't need to be your pain point all the time. It's making it relatable. The way that Steve Jobs did with iPod, with that little pocket in your jeans. Make it relatable. Make it personal. Last but not least, we've been circulating this entrepreneurial story as to how to overcome fear and what's the tips and advice for entrepreneur. We keep saying about doing, but actually we need to do and we need to think. Rational thinking is one of the tips to reduce risk. And these message map or all these other methods is how to help us structure the pitch. And you never know until you try. So practice, practice, practice. We think enough is never enough, but sometimes never enough is always enough. So that's all for today. I'm rushing in the end, but I think still a strong end. And feel free to connect with the team today. Jason, Angie, and Sean are with you. We are also have other team members in the team. So feel free to connect and with our special entrepreneur as well. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you again. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn.